Hi, this is Chuck Martin at the AI Summit in New York. I'm here with Vickram Kooblall, Chief Information Officer and Chief Info Security Officer at Scahill Law Group. Welcome, good to see you again.
It's great to see you as well, Chuck.
So you just came off stage. Tell me what you talked about.
So we talked about the legal issues, regulations around AI, and what some of those regulations are looking like. And we also just spoke about existing laws that are governing AI right now. So between the FTC, the EEOC, there are regulations. Once it touches into discrimination and privacy, those laws come into play. So it's interesting how, in terms of the AI legal framework has changed over time, and I've seen so many attorneys at this conference this year, more than any other year combined.
Well, you remember, I know you've been a Visioneers for a few years now,
I have.
it was like rare that it was like a legal firm.
It was,
you were it.
I felt like the golden child for a few years, honestly, but now it's great to see this, because once you get attorneys involved, you know that a technology has come a long way. You know that it's maturing, you know that it's hitting people, you know that it's making efficiency change and touching lives more and more. So once attorneys get into play on something like this, you know it's become quite big.
So you've been dealing all this time with all these issues you just mentioned, security, privacy, and so forth. Has it gotten easier or more complex or something different?
I think it's gotten a little easier, and the only reason I say that is because everyone's talking about it now. Everyone's around privacy, everyone's talking about transparency, everyone's talking about auditability, because the regulations are saying, is your AI model auditable? So I think the conversation, people are more aware of those topics as it pertains to security for those AI models. So it's great to see. It really
so
is.
In terms of regulation, are you having to look at global issues as well, or are you staying in domestic or US?
Global for sure, because every organization, it doesn't matter what you are a global organization almost by default, it feels like. Especially with an AI model or an AI system. You're going to have users across countries, across continents, utilizing your application. So, looking at all, and actually a question was just posed to me about, is there a international regulation over this? There really isn't, but as long as we stay true to the basics, right? Discrimination, bias, and things like that, we're going to touch on future regulation and future laws and trying to be a little bit ahead of it.
So a few years ago, you were kind of alone in this, and your function was probably different. Has it evolved over time?
It certainly evolved. I mean, I think in terms of when we look at it from a digital transformation standpoint, every organization is trying to look at AI as a tool. But now that the ecosystem has matured, we're now jumping into our data, our privacy, our security, our legal obligations. So it's really maturing into all those different facets that everyone's talking about now.
So a year from now, where are we?
So I think, you asked me this question last year.
I know.
And it was, last year I was blown away about the amount of vendors and the amount of people involved in this AI summit. And this year has, I think, doubled from last year. So it has been quite the journey. I think looking at the vendor ecosystem, that's what I talked about. The vendor ecosystem is maturing and has evolved, and I think that's going to continue. And I think legal is going to play a bigger part as it matures to the level that it is. So,
as always, I look forward to that conversation.
Likewise, Chuck.
Thank you.
Always.
This is Chuck Martin at the AI Summit, New York.